Hello class, this is Dr. Ogilvy and I'm going to give you a tour of the course website. I've logged in with my student view, so you see the course that you have signed up for, the Spring Bio 530 Online Histology is right here. But before then, in the My USC view that you'll have, you will see personal information. So we directed you actually in the first bulletin of the course, but I'm going to walk you through it. Make sure that you edit your personal information and check and make sure that the email address you have is the one that you check regularly, because we expect you to monitor the email on a consistent basis during the course. For email, we will send quick messages out or short ones and refer you to a bulletin or give you a brief update or remind you of some upcoming deadlines, although ideally we expect you to check the course schedule and put all the deadlines into your calendar, however which way you keep a calendar, either hard copy or on your computer or on your mobile phone. But the most important thing is to make sure that email address that you have here is the one that you check, because that's when I send an email out to the whole class, that's where it's going to go, to the email address you have in here. So now let's go into the course, and I'm going to click on course and then click to open the course. Now when you open the course, before they made the upgrade over the Christmas holidays, if you had it in a less than full screen mode, you would see the menu and it would stay there. But now what they've done is, unless you have it full screen, the menu is going to disappear each time you click on a menu item. Like, for example, if I click on tech troubleshooting, you see what happens? So just keep that in mind, and if you don't want that to happen, just make sure that when you're in the course website that you're viewing it full screen. Of course, the default window that you're going to see when you log into the course is this welcome, and we've made 5 items here that you should pay attention to early in the course, actually immediately. But I want to bring this to your attention. Several students have responded already that you're receiving the email messages. So we have an email check here. So click on the email question marks, and if you've received the email this morning and you're receiving emails from the course, then mark this reviewed, and then I will see that in a list that you are engaged in the course by email. Okay, the next thing you can do is you can earn 10 points immediately by clicking here and then clicking this way, and you see this many students have actually already introduced themselves. So please do that, and you can either just use some text and answer some of the questions about why you enrolled in the course, etc., etc. And if you choose to, you can post a photo of yourself. The next thing you need to do is to download the syllabus and the course schedule and assignments and the calendar. The syllabus is comprehensive, and one of the most important pages for you to look at and be familiar with is page 14. And that is a table showing you the type of assessments that we will administer to you during the semester and the points that you can earn. And then here's the grading scale. Make sure you either print that out or know exactly where to consult it, because no matter, you will have questions about that, and you can answer most of your questions. If you're confused, that's why we have the discussion board. The schedule of assignments, this gives you kind of an idea of a course overview, and then each of the module assignments are in the following pages. There's 5 pages after the first 2 pages. But each one of these, like when you go to the module folders, you're going to see the same thing here, this list of topics that you'll be studying during that module. Okay, and then the last one is the course calendar schedule. You can see right away that you have the first deadline is a week from tomorrow, Wednesday, January the 24th. By that time, you need to have taken the syllabus quiz. And by Monday, January the 29th, you need to have taken the Module 1 graded practice quiz, which you can take 3 times, and we take the highest score, and you can earn 20 points towards your grade. And then the module quiz, which is a definitive quiz, earning most of the points for the module, which is actually 55 points. That you only get 1 attempt for. So note these deadlines right away, and then each module you will see the deadlines, and it would be very wise for you to get those deadlines in your calendar. And if you don't do that, then consult this, have this handy, and consult it regularly so you don't miss any of the deadlines, because missing a deadline without a justifiable reason will end up in a 0 on a quiz or an assignment. And the justifiable reasons, you can go to the syllabus, and then I think it's page 17 in the syllabus. I'll find it there. It's 12:17. Let's see here. Yeah, policy on failure to meet deadlines. Read this carefully. Of course, we give a syllabus quiz, which you're going to have to take in order to proceed in the course, and that will help you, because it's an open book quiz, and that will help you pay attention to some of the details in the syllabus and the course schedule. So once you've reviewed all that, you could go to your check-in and get started page, and I will be posting this video tour here when I complete it sometime this afternoon, January the 16th. But there are 10 steps here that we guide you through, and when you finish this page, be sure to mark it review, because that's one of several conditions in order to be able to see the folders for the module quizzes and the folders for the modules to get the lectures, etc., etc. So I'm going to go back up here now, and we have an extensive tech troubleshooting items. So if you have any difficulty with anything in the course, like here is a whole bunch of frequently asked questions. When you click on that, there's going to be help for each one of those. And so try to take advantage of the help that we have offered before you post on the discussion board. And let me just say and emphasize that I'm going to jump to the discussion board now, because the discussion board, if you have a question about course content, or if you have a question about anything on the course, you will find that there will be a forum for that. Already had one question posted for Webmic about downloading and installing Webmic, and our TA has already responded to that person. But please find the correct forum for your question, post it. We monitor this and promise to answer within 24 hours, and very often it's the same morning or afternoon or same day. So we're very responsive to that. Do not send emails about technical problems. Do not send emails about questions about if you don't understand something in a lecture or a lab assignment or something like that. Go to the discussion board, because when you ask a question and we responded, it's just like you were in a class and you raised your hand and asked a question and we answered. Then everybody else knows the question and they also hear the answer, so it's helpful to everybody. Whereas if you send an email about these things, then we have individual responses to 70, 75 students, and it's totally inefficient. So please respect our policy and do that. However, if you are concerned about your progress in the course, you're concerned about a quiz and the points you earned, and you have a question that is absolutely personal nature, or if you are going to miss a deadline or you missed one and you feel like you have a justifiable excuse, that is what to use for use email to communicate that in a personal way, and we handle that privately and personally and respect your privacy. So and then now I'm just going to go to lab resources. You can download and install the Webmic application whether you're using a Mac or a PC, and when you click on this you will be taken to a site where you can download the Mac version, which is right here, APP. That means the Mac version of Webmic. You download that, and then you double click on the installation file, and well, first of all, this is a zip, because on the Mac version it's just going to be unzipped and it'll go into a folder, but we give those instructions in the PDF that is available at the same back on the page I just came from. If you're a PC user, make sure that you know whether you have a 32-bit or 64-bit machine. So you're going to want to download the proper one, 32-bit or 64-bit. So now I'm going to go back to this page, and if you click on this PDF, you will see instructions for installing Webmic locally. Now, but down here, you can also access Webmic over the internet, but it's not as reliable, and that's why we paid a programmer to create a local installation of Webmic. So I strongly recommend that you install Webmic locally on your Mac or your PC. Okay, so now I'm going to go to Biolucida. Biolucida is the other program that's necessary to install in order to do some part of your lab work, and also to take a certain part. Each of the quizzes midterm are divided into 2 parts, and the final is 3 parts. And part B of the midterm and the quizzes and part C of the final all depend upon Biolucida, because you're going to be having questions that will have whole slide images or virtual slides connected to the questions. So it's absolutely incredibly important that you get Biolucida installed right away in the course. And in order to test that, if I click on quiz and exam information, we have these sample tests, and there's a test A and test B. You can watch this video about reviewing tests in Blackboard, and then take the sample quiz part A, which is very representative of the static image questions and the text questions we asked in the course in part A in the quiz, midterm, and final. And then on part B, you will have to take part B logged into Blackboard within Biolucida, and this sample quiz will help you make sure you have Biolucida installed correctly. So and you must make a perfect score on both of these. You have unlimited attempts to take these, and that is the second condition that is necessary. First was marking the check-in and get started page reviewed, and then you have to make a perfect score on both of these. We give you the answers after each attempt, so there's no problem. It gives you practice, gives you exposure to the type of questions we ask. So that's the second requirement in order to proceed in the course. And so and then with the course modules. Now, this only has 1, 2, 3, 4 items in it right now, and you can see that you need to complete all the 10 tasks. You need on the course check-in and get started page, download, install Biolucida Viewer, access and make sure Webmic is working, and review all the content and quiz and exam information, mark the course check-in page reviewed, taken the syllabus quiz, take those 2 sample tests. And when you do that, and you complete all of that, then you will be able to see all the module folders below. Right now, I'm at the student view, and I haven't done that, and so yeah, I can't see that. However, you can watch the first lecture of the course, which gives you a good introduction overview, and you can also peruse and even open the PDFs of the lectures. Now, these PDFs are also available in each module folder in each lecture, paired with the narrative quizzes. We just give them here, so if you want to jump ahead to oral cavity, I'll fix that link. For some reason that was broken, but I know I can fix that. But this one works, and these are the PDFs of the lectures, so if you want to get a good preview of those. The other feature here, which should be helpful, are all the lecture topics that will appear in each of the lectures. But for every lecture, you can look ahead and see the topics that are covered. And each of these topics are in the lecture itself. They're linked to that area in the lecture where the topic begins, and then there's a return link, so that once you've watched a lecture all the way through the narrated lecture, you can go back and actually go to any particular part of the lecture. So it's like taking 36 minutes and dividing it up into small packets. Okay, so I'm going to pause this as I go and prepare for the end of this video. Okay, now let's take a quick look at the graded quizzes and exams. There's some information here, and you can read through all this information now, but this is where the course syllabus quiz resides. Here, this is the last thing. Remember, I said there are conditions before you can see the folders for the modules as well as the quizzes in each module. You must mark the check-in and get started page reviewed. You must make a perfect score on the sample quizzes A and B, and you must take the syllabus quiz. It doesn't matter what score you get it. I hope you get a perfect score, but whatever score you get, as long as you take it and submit it, then you would have met all the requirements, and you will see down below here the 5 folders containing the module quizzes. And in a moment, I'm going to show you what that looks like. But right now I wanted to show you what it looks like when you haven't finished those requirements. Okay, so let's go back, and I want to just highlight one thing. I'm not going to click on each one of these, but these are outside resources that are meant to be helpful. You've got a glossary terms, you have virtual slide exploration, histology on the internet, recommended text, enhance and reinforce, recommendation of how to reinforce your studies. If you're color deficient, you can get help here. If you're anxious about tests, you can get help here, and you can get help as a student in Blackboard here. So now I'm going to pause it for a moment, and then I'm going to click on the course modules and the graded quizzes exam and show you. Right now I'm going to click on this, and you can see there are no module folders here, right? But in a few moments when I get back on, you will see them, because I'm going to make sure my student login view and has satisfied all those requirements that I have repeated several times. Okay, now in my student account, I have satisfied all of the conditions in order to proceed in the course. And so I'm going to scroll down. We're in the modules, course module menu link, and now so you see I now have the 5 folders for each module, and in each module you will see the following. You will be able to access the learning outcomes for that module for each of the lectures. You will be able to see the table of the which is repeated from the course assignment schedule link that I brought to your attention. And then you'll be able to access the folder that has the lectures, and each one of the lectures has a link here. In order to watch the narrated lecture, you're going to want to click on Watch Lecture Number 1, for example. And when you click on that, you'll get a second link to launch the lecture, and then the lecture will come up in a separate window, and there it goes. So, and then in addition to all the PDFs that I showed you before for the whole course, each lecture has the same PDF paired with it, so you can see the slides and see everything that is said in the narrated lecture. And then if I go back to Module 1 out of the lectures, here is information about the graded practice quizzes. For every module there's a graded practice quiz, and we're giving you a little more detail on the first one here. And here's the actual graded practice quiz. You will click this. You have 3 attempts in order to make a perfect score, which is 20 points. And then there's a link here to the module graded quizzes, but I'm going to go back now to the link in the graded quizzes and exams. And remember, before we did not have any folders below, but now you see, since I've met all the requirements, I can see the folder for the first module quiz, and that's already posted. We've given you hints about taking the quiz and exam here. Best to view this video first, and then you can take the quiz anytime between now and 8 o'clock Wednesday, January 31st. But be sure that you begin the quiz, and you have a Part A and you have a Part B. And Part B must be taken in Blackboard, logged in to Blackboard within BioLucida. Okay, I'm just about finished with this video. I've got maybe a couple other things I want to emphasize. I'm going to pause it for a minute while I get that organized. Okay, I guess the last thing that I want to emphasize is that for each module, the graded practice quizzes are within the module folders, and they count for your grade. And you can find, again, on page 14 of the syllabus, that table which will show you what everything counts for. We repeat information like that here, but if you want a concise view of everything that we use to assess you in the course and the points, always refer to page 14 of the syllabus. Now, the other quiz that is required for you to earn points within each module are found in the graded quizzes and exams, and that will be in Module 1 quiz, and that is up to take now. But the Module 2 quiz, if I go to that folder, it will be empty except for this instruction about taking Part B, because we will not post that, will not be available until the end of the first module. So when one module ends, immediately another module begins, and the lectures are available as well as the quizzes. Okay, I think that should get you started. And the one last thing that I would say is, do not procrastinate. Try to stay on top of the assignments. Give yourself the opportunity to go back over what you have studied several times, to review. If there's 3 things that I think are very important, they're all the same: review, review, and review. If you do this and you stay up to date, you keep going back and revisit the material you go over before you take a quiz, most students do very well. If you don't, you won't do well. And I can't say it any other way.